Oh, God.
You lead it, Robin.
Okay, man. Thanks so much for being here.
That was the sales pitch right there.
Okay, good, right, yes. Okay, this is how I am in my shed. It takes me at least half an hour. And, the camera turns itself off by the time I've gotten up the gumption. Gumption it is. Hello, I'm Robin Vincent, and welcome to Molten Music Technology here in this weird space at Thomann Synth Reactor. I've brought along two guys who know what they're doing, which is really exciting. So I feel like
that's debatable.
I feel like I'm getting schooled.
For me, I speak for myself.
Yeah. Well, they do speak. I've got Stephen over here. I've got Ben over here, who are probably recognisable to you. But tell us who you are, just really quickly.
Channels Noir, Blanc V.
Yeah,
that's it.
DivKid.
And there's me, like, in the middle. And what we decided to do is to get a bunch of Behringer stuff. It's like a Behringer bonanza. So none of these things at the time of filming, are available to the general public. So this is really very, very extraordinarily cool. We have to understand that. Although these are landing very shortly, the MS-101. So we have the MS-101, which has apparently something to do with some synth called the SH-101. We have the Pro-1, which is a sequential, something to do with sequential. And then we have the Crave, which has nothing to do with anything at all. And I did a video on that a bit yesterday and found it to be remarkably easy and good sounding. Mm-hmm. So we've just got together. We're not going to perform necessarily, or we may, we don't know. We have half an hour open to us of doing whatever the heck we like. But I think what might be nice is just to get a bit of sound out of each one and just talk about how we feel about that.
Cool.
Yeah. You're going to be playing the Pro-1.
Am I?
I'm the only one who has no interface.
That's true.
I see. Yeah, right.
Unless I turn the drone on and just... I could be a human LFO, maybe.
Well, let's do that. I mean, turn it on. Yeah, give us a noise. Right?
How fast can I audio rate my No. I can on the thing, but I can't move that fast.
Okay.
But yeah, you are controlling.
So I'll turn myself down, and if I stick on an art, something beautiful, then you just give us a quick. Yeah, give us the 1 minute demo.
Well, luckily I've already been having a play with the Pro-1, a slightly earlier prototype than this one, I believe. And there are a couple of nice tricks. Audio rate modulation of the filter is very nice. So that's kind of what I've liked most of it. I'll go for that. And when it's not tracking properly, that's why you get that blip, 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 where it's not quite, some notes are in tune, some aren't.
Yeah, I should point out this is absolutely a prototype. This is.
Oh yeah.
There's all sorts of craziness apparently going on in there, and that's all right.
You can kind of lock into these weird tones. I hope the actual final one does the blip 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 blip. Can you play a little bit lower?
Yeah.
Maybe a little lower.
See then, I've got to do it. Transpose.
okay.
There we go.
Ooh, I'm not sure I'm getting a... I'll tell you what.
Sounds really good.
I knew it was a good idea to bring him along.
Yeah.
I mean, does it sound anything like what a Sequential Circuits Pro-1 spelled with a... Does it? I mean, does it
I really don't
approximate-
know. Other than some of the other Behringer products, this is one that I have absolutely zero experience with the real
real thing.
So I can't give any kind of comparison. But just in terms of the differences to the other synths, like that little sound we had, nice synth sound.
Yeah.
But then to be able to get the oscillator in tune fairly easily. You can push it around a little bit. And the architecture is really nice and simple. Just enough extra, and having tested some of these earlier, it sounds different to the others.
Good.
It definitely does.
Like the sign of a good restaurant, if they all have, each different curry dish, it tastes different. It's not all from the same stock, if you like. They sound different.
Because there is this. I mean, I mean, having now spent a couple of days with my head firmly up the backside of a lot of synthesizers.
Yeah.
There is a danger. We think, well, isn't it just the same thing over and over again? And then these same VCOs are turning up time and time again. But then actually, when you sit down with an instrument, it does its own.
Yeah.
It does its own thing. You find an interaction between it which generates something different on every.
Can we try and
single
demo
one.
that, like a really basic, just like one oscillator,
Yeah.
simple filter to the envelope, just, and if we all just write the volume, we can see how different they all sound.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
I mean, if you do, I'll keep my volume down. So we're not in. It's like the human sidechain.
Yeah, that's remarkable.
Just a
actually.
similar-ish.
Yeah.
But if I was to just to go down to my single wave. That's got such a great brassy sort of fart to it, hasn't it?
The brass pab.
Are you guys using resonance in yours?
A little bit. Let's turn it down. Let's go res down on them all, yeah.
All the way?
Yeah.
It's definitely got a.
It has a meat to it.
Yeah.
It's got that click up front. Which actually, when people start talking about clicky envelopes, I find in the modular, I like sending a really fast envelope to
Yeah.
the pitch to have a click, to just have that transient, just how drum sounds work. They tend to start at a higher pitch and they come down, and it's percussive and it's like a snap. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a
I
strike.
like that, and it just, that's why you would maybe pick that one over this one if that, if one clicks and one doesn't. I don't find it to be much of an issue generally.
I hear a definitely distinctive difference, even though maybe the notes are different or the octaves were kind of a bit different. You can hear like real significantly different tones.
Can we
in
just
each
do
one.
a quick sweep from left,
Sure.
our left to right of the volumes and.
Yeah, it's definitely got a different.
This is much rounder. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Parpy.
Yeah.
Parpy, brassy.
I mean, I had a go on SH-101 in about 1980 something or other, and I remember it. I mean, the only thing I could program it until at the time was hot water. That seemed to be
Okay.
what I was into, and but the sound I remember had a thinness to it. I don't mean that unkindly.
No, I think
I get what you're saying.
But it had a thinness and a squelch, and there was
Yeah,
a squelch
yeah.
that you really liked.
Plasticky is the word I like
Yeah.
to use for the
Yeah.
101. But people see that
Yeah.
as negative.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not plasticky, but
Yeah.
but
No,
that
I know
cuts.
what
It
that
made
means.
it perfect for house bass lines
Yeah, yeah.
that it was great at through the 90s.
It's like I feel like it's sort of like a balloon when you kind of you rub like the side of the balloon. You kind of like
Yeah.
It's kind of got that
Yeah.
that quality to it, which is sort of that plasticky thing, like you said.
But the thin or everything can't be the fattest sound.
No.
Because then
Yeah.
you know, you can't really have 5 Model Ds in a mix.
Exactly.
It's an absolute nightmare to work with because it's so big. They don't sit there.
They do have their polychain thing though, so you could theoretically,
and once you get up
with
the
Behringer
octaves and
boxes.
you're out of the way, I guess, then it becomes a slightly different thing. But they've all got their play. Finn is often really good. Maybe it needs less work and EQ to sit in a dense project. Or
Yeah, I mean it'll fit. I mean, I was talking to somebody yesterday about software synthesis and things like Omnisphere and these just enormous sounds. Well, actually, that came out of a conversation about the Moog 1, funnily enough, because you're going, and there's this huge wash of stuff going on that it's unfathomable. Where on earth am I going to put that?
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to go alongside my little 8-bar pattern beat. So when you come down to something that's simple, you've got just the one oscillator going on and you're just messing around with something by itself. It then can find itself in all sorts of places. So how have you found the Crave? You had to play on it yesterday, yeah?
Yeah. When I played on it yesterday, I think I came into it the same way I kind of come into Behringer synths in the last bit, where I'm hoping to kind of be pleasantly surprised. And same thing happened in this one. They've got a lot of different functions than previous, but I mean, just the sound
It
alone.
rattled the cabinet behind us.
Oh, it's that powerful, guys.
Nice.
It's just, it's got a great I don't know, it's got a great sound as just like a straight piece of equipment. Like, it's got a great synth sound, and it's also got a lot of functionality in terms of what you can do with the patching.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's really anything that they're trying to copy with the Crave. It's sort of its own thing where it's got the Prophet 5 VCO section, and then it has the ladder filter from, traditional Moog synth.
Right, yeah.
And the knobs and everything. Everything is very... I mean, this is a prototype, obviously, so it could change, but everything is very, very strong and very, like,
And what, $150 are they shooting for on that?
I think...
Like that.
Yeah. 150, 149 euro, he said?
Yeah?
Something like that, or 149 pounds, something.
That's
But
crazy.
$200 in America is what he said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, what was interesting about NAMM, I thought, Behringer weren't at NAMM, we know that, but they were at NAMM.
They were
They snuck,
somewhere in LA.
They bombed
somewhere
it.
in LA.
But it was interesting because that was the unexpected bit later on the weekend, and it was nothing to do with anybody else. It's nothing to do, all the conversation that revolves around Behringer and what they're doing.
Yeah.
This just stuck out.
I think so.
Stuck out as being its own thing, which was nice. So they kind of rounded off the weekend. Because they spent the whole time talking about stuff we already sort of knew about. I mean, because I write for news websites, I've been writing about the MS-101. I mean, first from way back where they leaked that
very
image
quick
of
to
the
leak and
double
announce
denim and
and-
the MS-101 around somebody's shoulders. So I feel like I've written 5 articles about it already, and it's not even out yet.
Yeah.
And so when it came to NAMM and they were demonstrating these and the other bits and pieces, they were all kind of, all right, okay. But so it was great for them to reveal something new that you could actually talk about for itself, just for itself, as opposed to what else it was mirroring or highlighting or respecting or one of those other words.
Can I hear the FM on this? Can we get into the FM? Because that is an addition. It was a mod. It was a mod that people have done on the 101.
Oh.
It's not entirely new, but it's not on a 1. It wasn't on a 101. So we've got what, a source?
I took a new tune in. It's done more than that.
Very stable and certainly adds another tone.
Nice, thank you for that. that's the 101 sound.
Yeah.
As soon as you start getting that,
I've always loved the plucks out of the 101.
Can we turn the app off? Something I'd really like to try.
Totally. Ooh.
Friend Matthew Shaw pointed me to this when I got an SH-09. Really similar architecture to the 101. And tuning a highly resonant filter just above the oscillator sound. So, and because it will key track, I get a bit like the FM. It's just another way of getting more out of a single oscillator.
Yeah.
I mean, into a reverb with maybe that octave.
Possibly.
And picking out a harmonic that just sits. Just a different, that isn't the 101 I ever knew.
I mean, the one thing that's missing is effects, I suppose. That's the thing that they tend to bolt into.
That into a ton of reverb,
end.
nice spacey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There'd usually be, you imagine a little reverb, delay. That's what everything seems to have stuck in at the end at the moment. But not on these. Not at all. So a stunned silence. That's exactly what we go for in video land.
Yeah.
Well, so time is against us, unfortunately. But I mean, I would like to bring up the elephant in the room, of course, which is the whole talk about what Behringer's mission is, what they're doing, and how people feel about that. I mean, it's been really interesting talking to other people here because everyone here is into the idea of synthesizers and what they do. But there's a wide range of opinions as to whether this is somehow devaluing the historical nature of synthesis or whether it's democratizing synthesis. And everyone has an opinion on it and an angle on it, and I've been expressing it over the last couple of years since we've been talking about it. And from my point of view, I feel that I've come to a position where I've sort of made peace with it. I mean, I've argued about it, I've seen all the arguments about, ripping this off, ripping that off. But, I mean, sure, yeah, you can make that argument, and that's okay. But at the same time, I've bought one of these, I've ordered one of these, and the reason being is that I just want a good, simple synth with a keyboard that my kids could play, that they would enjoy, that does what it says, and it just fits the bill, And I don't see how there can be anything wrong with that as such. And it's interesting when you talk to the people from Midas and their input into how these things are put together. There's some great people and some great minds working behind it. That just you can't dismiss it. I don't think you can't just dismiss it out of hand. You have to sit down and listen to it and feel about it, and then of course draw your own political conclusions as to how you feel about that going forward.
Yeah,
there's been the thing I find weird is when someone commented on another video of mine, totally un-Behringer related, saying this sounds like crap. That was the comment. Fine, I'm all for criticism, but it wasn't at me, it was just at the product. I didn't make a sound out of the product in that demo. I was putting the thing together. So they're just trolling, it's just random screaming on the internet, which doesn't get anyone anywhere. You're not going to stop the company by just shouting rubbish on the internet.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that everybody should just entirely love it and go with everything and just totally agree and bow down, fine. I like that there's debate around it and a range, but
because people care, there is a sense of people have an ownership over a historical synthesizer and feel that there's something being encroached upon, and I think it's okay to have those feelings,
Of course, yeah, but but they're just kind of shit flinging, for want of a better word. Just doesn't really do. It's not going to do anything. No. I think that's quite silly. Now, I'm not saying agree with it or be into it or buy it if you're not into it. Of course not. But also the dismissal that it doesn't sound good. The quick. It's almost like school bully on a playground finding I can get them if I tell them it doesn't sound good, and it's like you should really try it.
Yeah.
Now, still dismiss it if you want. I'm not saying again. I'm not trying to take this is the right way with this and everyone should toe the line, but there's
at least
some
try it.
Instant dismissal that seems, not just with Behringer, with other companies, it just seems really silly.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a real thing.
Built good.
It does. it's yeah. I mean, it's plastic, obviously. Because what else would you expect it to be? But it's, you know, I'm not finding any fault with the actual product. You know, you can find plenty to talk about regarding the ethos and all that kind of stuff behind it, and that's fine. Those are things to chew over. But the product itself, I mean, this has been great hearing all three together.
Yeah, this is really cool.
We're potentially going to run out of time,
Yeah.
so you can chop me off the end saying this if not. But if we've like a minute left, can we try and get all three going at once?
Let's do that
Just fade
now.
it in, and then they'll cut it out, and it's cool.
Yeah. Well, let me say goodbye then. In that case, goodbye. That was a lovely thing to do. So yeah, we'll just make some sounds, and then, you know, if you find yourself doing anything else, go and make some tunes. Always got to get that in.
QFC.
What?
Yeah. Go. Let's
Go.
take some time before we have to finish. We might get 20 seconds.
All right, let's do a Dip Me Up going again. I'll stick in a sound.
You can do like
That was the sales pitch right there. Cacophony of all three of them at once.
I was like, try to get up to the right octave to make it work.
It does go lower.
good.
There we go. I found the lower speech.
We're done, I think.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you so
That was
much.
awesome.
I appreciate
Put
that.
that at the front
Nice.
of the video, that bit of the
Yeah. I like to do that.
Yeah, that'd be good.